Soon as he tapped in, you can tap in. Motherfucker gotta do it. We actually want y'all to kind of cut y'all phones down.
Yeah, everybody put their phone.
Do not disturb.
You
know what I'm saying?
I'll keep mine off. Because I got something to say, man.
I know that.
And the questions will come through y'all.
Okay. Still covered all out there. Everything's cut up.
Meeko Harper says he wants a meeting with both of us.
I do. Okay.
I'll hit him up after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The day been strong for you all.
Yeah, man. Just I forgot about this Thursday, and I had to shuffle around a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Shuffle around a bunch of stuff because my word is all I got.
Yeah, that's all we do have.
I had to get Michael Marshall on point real quick.
Okay. So get team play.
Yeah, because they got a lot to say as well,
Yeah. Where y'all from?
You from Lansing?
Lansing. Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite player of all time, Magic Johnson. And I'm still a Laker fan.
Who you rolling with? Who your team? Who you rolling with? Even though with listen right here. Listen, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna feel until I die.
Yeah, man. Hey, look.
I ain't playing.
I gotta do this. Talk about this and stuff. What'd that say? LA.
Lakers all day.
I ride with the Lake Show for sure.
Well, LeBron get his.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, good. LeBron gonna get this, but he ain't got 5. Magic and Kobe got 5.
Yeah.
He ain't done yet.
His career ain't over yet.
Did you see? Let me leave that there. Leave that there.
Leave it there?
Yeah.
It's like that, because I kind of kicked it and shit. It's cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
DeWaun, do you have a title you want to use for like when we're posting about you?
For the show, showcase that.
Yeah, just something with DeWaun Robinson. Is there anything you want like with just host DeWaun Robinson? Is that like?
Fli-City Blackout.
Fli-City Blackout host.
Royale X.
Let's add each other too on the book, so that way we tapped in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Is it like FLIs or no, it's on here.
It's under
Dash.
The dash, I feel like dash. City Blackout shit for right there. When Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl next year, y'all all gonna be shocked.
I like what they did. This draft.
Say, if I could have zoomed in on his face, that was priceless.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I think they're gonna be tough this year.
We're gonna be better than tough.
They did good last year.
We're gonna be all right. It's about time.
Peace and blessings, everybody. We just tapping in, getting everything situated on the back end. You in for a real treat, man. We got our brother up here, man, Brother Thompson. And then also, what's your name, brother? Marshall, brother Marshall in the house. And you know, you gotta introduce yourself. We'll go live and introduce yourself and XYZ. Tap in. We're letting everybody tap in. It's been a grind all day, man. You know, I'm working off of 2 hours of sleep, Meek.
Hey,
And I'm telling you,
you
bro.
look like you got time, man. You look like that's my first thing. Yeah, I'm glad you said something, man. Cause
Man.
now I know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm trying to definitely, you know, stay strong in the fight for sure.
Yeah, you gotta balance yourself, man. You know, you
Right.
can't give it all to them, man. Gotta fool around and have your ass in an ambulance somewhere.
Yeah,
They be calling your buddies and say, hey, yeah,
My boy Rodney down says, what's his famous quote, DeWaun? I'd rather be seen than viewed.
man. You want to give us a mic check, make sure we good. Come on, with the phone.
I ain't on. I can't get on right now. Looks like we good though.
Check.
Yeah, my mic is it's rolling.
Every
Yeah,
time
we
I see
love.
Yeah, it's rolling.
Check.
Yeah, my mic is it's rolling.
All right, you roll. All right, here. All right, we'll be with you.
We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
All right, peace and blessings, everyone. Definitely, man, appreciate everybody for tapping into the showcase today. You listening to Fli-City Blackout. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can always catch us on Facebook Live. Also, subscribe to that channel on YouTube. We have a number of exciting conversations and thrillers. Nevertheless, today is another one-time banger when you're talking about a special. I've just got some very prolific, people in the house tonight. Nevertheless, man, our good brother, Meeko Thompson, is here. We'll be sharing a number of different things that he's engaged and involved in, provide some updates and insight information as it relates to the Clemency Project, also police reform, and also being the subject of a short documentary. I think the brother has hit the ground running as being one of Michigan's longest serving, non-violent crime, right, in Michigan. And so ever since then, man, he's just been kind of getting back to it and getting the ball rolling on a number of different things. And we just elated to have the man in the house. And so with that being said, I definitely want to pass it over and introduce our guest. And then also he brought in some other folks in the community that's been doing the work. These brothers hailing from Lansing. And so they'll be talking about some of the things that they have coming up with Mr. Thompson and etc. So let's lock in. So What's up, good brother?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. I'm glad to be here, man. To give me the opportunity.
Oh man, you got the juice, man. Anytime, man. Anytime, we can get a brother or your statue, right, to come in and kind of talk about some of the work that you're involved in, just impactful work. And when you're talking about police reform, not police reform, we're talking about prison reform, police reform too, and the work that you committed to doing with that, I think that's very commendable, right? Because you got a lot of brothers that's sitting down in situations that they don't have to be in because of maybe not the right representation or, this the hypocrisy of the criminal justice system. So, man, that's a big deal.
Yeah. I want to clarify something you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall and Mike, they are top executives of the Michael Thompson Clemency team.
Okay.
They ain't just know they ain't just know anybody.
It's my first time meeting the brothers, and Marshall.
Great to
and
meet
Mike,
you, Marshall,
Mike,
and Mike.
Yeah, close to be here. Close to be here.
We're gonna get you on the screen in a minute too.
Yeah, it's definitely, man, and definitely, man, for making sure we clarify who's in the building and what roles they represent, because everybody play a part. And it sounds like, man, they on the ground hitting the tooth with you.
Yeah, on the grassroots level, big time.
Okay.
And without them, it wouldn't be no Michael Thompson Clemency.
Come on, man. Come on. I respect it.
Because everybody played their part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful to them.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So with you, man, now that you're back out, man, give us for those who may not necessarily know your story.
Okay,
know what you represent, man, and what you're doing, man. Let's give them a summary of who you are.
The summary of my story is pretty simple. I did 25 years for 3 pounds of marijuana. 25 years. And a lot of people fought for me. But, people like Kim Kardashian, Martell Williams, Shan King, Last Prison Project, on and on. It's so many people fought for me, and I'm thankful to them. But look, how many Michael Thompsons is still in there that don't have them entertainers like a Chelsea Handler and all of them, and D.D. Kirkwood. How many people don't have them people that devoted, and I'm so thankful. And I want to repeat this. I'm so thankful to Crisco Lab. That's the reason I got the cap on, because I'm thankful to them, because I could be one of them people that's out here don't have nothing. Man, don't you know what it takes to get something after doing 25 years?
Come on now. People can't even get that. Ain't doing no time.
And I'm talking about, man, so I'm thankful to everything somebody doing for me during the time I've been here, because it's hard out here, man. And I'm looking at, saying people have been out here, and I'm just getting out here. So I'm looking at little kids no more than I know about a phone. They even tell me about my car. How they right?
Come on, man.
Show me how to wait a minute. Hey, it's amazing, man, and I love him, man. I love him. I got a little trooper, a grandson. Okay. I call him Eminem, and man, he loves his grandfather, man.
Nah, that's real.
That makes me feel good.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it made me feel good, man. And I miss him. But but what I want to say is this: the criminal justice system is broken, man. It needs to be fixed. It's broken. But I am thankful to one thing, that Horace Peterson is about to get out within the next month and a half or two. He should be out of prison, man, and I'm gonna be right there with him.
Come on now.
Because I've been calling his name ever since I've been out.
All around the country.
All around the country, from Palm Springs to New York to Chicago. I've been calling his name even at the Hamptons with the rich and famous.
Mm-hmm.
I was calling his name down there, man. You know, that's my man.
That's right.
You know, and I want to see him walk out like I did.
Mm.
But that can be a touchy moment. I don't know how I'm gonna react to that one. That gonna be a very touchy moment. You know.
Why would you think that it'd be a touchy moment?
Because of what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what he went through, and he walking out through the same doors I walked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, just knowing what he leaving behind,
Yeah.
The torture of prison life,
Mm-hmm.
leaving behind the disrespect, the food that he ain't got to worry about no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, washing his clothes, simple as that. I had to wash my clothes in a toilet stool.
Mm-hmm.
Toilet stool.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I know what he feel, man. He got to go through that no more. His family got a washing machine and dryer, and he might do like I did. I used to watch. When I bought me a washing machine and dryer, I used to just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to look at it and knowing how much work that washing machine put in, because
Yeah.
I know how much work I put in the toilet stool.
If you ain't never had to wash your drawers in the toilet,
Oh, man.
you don't know that vibe when you see a washing machine.
No, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the washing machine and dryer. Shit, you know, I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? I love to wash clothes.
Right,
Especially mine.
On a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's on a whole different level, man. You know what I'm saying? So people talk what they want. You know what I'm saying? Lady don't want to wash no clothes. You better get up and wash some clothes. Shit, that washing machine dryer doing the work. Only thing you gotta do is put it in and take it out.
Come on now. I'm hoping they're hearing you on that.
Yeah, because you know, I love it. Man, you just don't know how much I appreciate a washing machine dryer.
Right.
And a dryer. Excuse me. But anyway, okay, but one thing I do want to say, I want y'all to listen to this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going to be the first time I say it, because it only happened 2 days ago.
Mm. It's a world premiere right here, right now.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm mentioning this.
Mm-hmm.
My parole agent put in for me to get off parole.
Mm-hmm.
They signed off.
Okay.
They boss sign off. And then they boss over them sign off.
Okay.
And then they finally get back with them after putting another request in, trying to find out what's going on. Why ain't this man off parole yet?
Yeah.
And don't you know they denied me? And so they denied me. So I just want you to know, you know what I'm saying, when they say I'm free,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why sometimes when I was walking out and I say, am I truly free?
Yeah.
When I was walking out, man, because, man, when you're in the Department of Corrections jurisdiction, you're still a prisoner.
Even when you're out.
Even when you're out, man, because anybody can just lie on you, man.
Yeah. And
Lie on you and you're back in prison.
right. That's happened so many times.
25 years, am I correct?
Yeah.
25 years for a non-violent crime.
Yes.
That's
So
just
what
non-violent
he's saying
crime.
is too, man, the fact that, you know, when you come out of prison, man, you still have those tales, right? You still have people want to see you back in. So any little slip up, they know that they can use that against you to get you back in the same position.
But I called the state representative to ask him, man, can you check into this? Because this is something ain't right about this.
Mhm.
And then
Ridiculous.
they didn't even get back with their own agents. They filed an application and then they wouldn't get back with them. And then they had to file another application and they still didn't get back with them.
Who
I
didn't
had
get back with him.
people over their head
Mm-hmm.
in the pro board.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You know, pro board.
Oh yeah, it's been a problem.
And what I had to do, I had to call the state representative, ask him, man, can you find out what's going on? Why ain't they getting back with their own agents?
Mm-hmm.
They own agents.
Right.
And so I asked him what's going on. He said, and I asked the pro agent, pro board, pro officer, why ain't they getting back with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
He said that we don't know. All we can do is wait.
Mm.
And so I'm sitting here after doing 25 years, man. And then you still want to keep your foot on my neck.
Come on now. Come on.
You tell me Is this system broken or is it working? If it's working, who is it working for?
Right.
It ain't working for no people of color. That's for sure.
It's never had.
And all the work I'm doing, all the work I've been doing from the day I stepped out of prison, and then you still want to keep your foot on my neck.
Mm.
You know, sometimes I wonder what kind of man you want me to be.
Right. Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? You act like you don't want me to help my people.
Mm-hmm. They really don't, though. I mean, they really don't want to see you really, you know, because it comes with a level of influence, right? When you have went through the things you went through, now you have committed to the work that you engaged in today. They don't really want to see you out here, man, shaking things up and making changes and changing the system that they benefit from. Then let alone releasing folks that has been under this crutch for a long time. They don't really want to see that. They benefit off all this.
Yeah, well, that's sad, man, because it's all about trying to help somebody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? See, my slogan is this, man. They can do better, and all they got to do is care. That's what my slogan is. All you got to do is care.
Yeah.
And it seems like don't nobody care.
Yeah.
You know, within the system I'm talking about. And listen, and I want to say this, you know, and I don't want to sound like a broke record, but I want to say this, man. I want you to hear this, man. Especially you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to hear this, especially your man right there.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to hear this, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, you know, this system is so broken. So broken, and it's so many politics is being played.
Oh yeah.
Young people got to know that. I'm thank God for young people. Thank God for young people.
Mm-hmm.
Because this system is totally broken.
Mm-hmm.
And we need young lawyers. We need young prosecutors.
Come on.
We need young judges.
Mm-hmm.
We need them.
Right.
A different mindset.
And because this got to change, man. When is, and I'm going to ask you, brother, when is enough is enough? When? How you going to hold Horace Peterson in prison for 50-something years?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a gun. He didn't have a gun. He had no intentions of killing anybody.
How long you been in prison?
Who, Horace?
Yeah.
50, what,
70, 78? 50, 51, 52 years.
Wow.
He was 19.
Then you got a guy named Philo Hunt, been in prison 58 years.
Yeah. Philo.
58 years, and he ain't killed nobody, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it says it ain't just Horace. It's other people that just like Horace should follow right behind Horace. And then you got people like Leroy Washington. Leroy Washington, you know, he went and got his doctorate degree in prison.
In prison, writing a book.
So,
he's got a book coming out.
So what harm is he?
Shout out to Leroy.
What harm is he to someone? Then you got Gambo. You know what I'm saying? Even though he gonna be getting out in July, but you held him in there all this time. His kids are sick. You had him in there, and he in there for a non-violent crime.
His son has leukemia. How are you going to keep a dad away from his son with leukemia? What kind of system is that? I mean,
that's his racial criminal justice system in America that has impacted and tore up families since the beginning of time and has not been working for us. Just in general, talk about people has been caught up for those nonviolent crimes, and then when you don't have the type of support from the legislators, right, to change policy. Right, to hold accountability on folks who are hindering families of staying together. That's what you got, right? And once again, like I said, you know, a lot of times they'll do that talking as if they care about prison reform. In all actuality, man, they do nothing about it.
Yeah, that's why this Clemency Project is so important. We have a clemency menu. The governor has sole power to sign clemency.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Governor Kate Brown. She's our friend. She just came to Michigan to do an event for us.
Okay.
She signed 45,000 cannabis commutations. So we're calling on Governor Whitmer to grant commutation not only for just possession, but delivery, cultivation, felony, misdemeanor. It's legal now. You got $1 billion industry out there. Clear people's records. She can do that stroke of a pen. And that's where we're calling on the community. We need people. We need names. We need, for the clemency menu, there's parameters that the governor wants to do a categorical clemency program. They're hiring a person in May. It's May 4th right now. The beginning of May, their administration told us that they'll be hiring a clemency team member to run a clemency program. So that's where we're looking at elders, where people pre-airing cases that got felony murder charges when they didn't have a gun. Horace Peterson, 40 years.
It's horrible,
man. That's a loss of family, wisdom. Man, so much loss. So when he's gonna come out, he's gonna start fighting, just like Meeko. Day he walked out. So there's voices, people behind. We ain't giving up, and that's why Michael Thompson Clemency Project exists. It existed the day he walked out of prison. Yeah, and he's still fighting. That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Y'all know y'all was fighting well, before he came out, just preparing. Because this was an atrocity. So you're like, listen, and then now that he's out here on the ground, they only just maximize the efforts, right? Because, and then too, man, why don't you introduce yourself? Because I know you're working with Mr. Thompson.
So my name is Marshall Clabeau. I'm co-director of the Michael Thompson Clemency Project with Mike McCurdy over here. Not in the picture, but the day-to-day operations of the clemency work are big, man. We got ACLUs behind us, the University of Michigan Sentence Commutation Project, working with groups all over the state, working on community violence intervention, and the work don't stop. We need help. We need your support. Show up. We need financial help. We need people power. That's the way it's done. We need people to write letters to the parole board, to the governor. That's how we get these things done. Making calls. Let her know. 517-335-7858. Extension 5, extension 2. I don't even remember phone numbers, but I got that one memorized.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you got to call her, man. You got to call her. Let her know. That's our job.
Well, it takes money to run an operation like this, Michael Thompson Clemency. It takes money to do what we do, because we're trying to get human beings free.
That's right.
And it takes money to free a human being.
Yeah, those gates ain't going to probably open themselves.
It's real hard. It's real hard. The rhetoric and the paperwork is very hard.
Yes, and that's the reason why we need money. People like Gamble, saying, ain't no way, saying, man, he get on in July anyway, but you still want to hold him to July. Let the man go now. His son is sick. I'm just trying to show you some. When is they going to start showing humanity towards a human being? Just because you're in prison, that don't mean you're supposed to throw the key away. They still human, and they still going to be back out here in society.
Right.
Look at you forcing mothers to work 2 jobs and all that kind of stuff. Then you're going to force the kids to go to the streets for love. And then when you force the kids to go to the street for love, then penitentiary will become his mother and father. That's what happens.
Cycle.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you force that mother who's trying to raise a boy, a son, who's trying to raise a son by herself. That's what you do. You create this, and you thinking that penitentiary is the answer for everything. It's not.
I want to touch up on that real quick when you talk about
is
I
never.
want to touch up on that when you talk about prison is not the answer to everything. Just like when you talk about this outbreak with the opioids, and versus what was going on during the crack epidemic.
Come on, man.
You see the different levels of charges and guidelines when Black communities were dealing with crack, and they was getting sentenced, and they wasn't getting the support. They wasn't getting sent to mental health. They wasn't getting real support. They wasn't trying to go ahead and really do different things and have alternatives. They just lock them up to 25 to life. But now when you see the situation, now when you have this outbreak in opioids that's taking place in white communities, now they want to seek to get them help. They want to look at different opportunities. What other measures do we have to help support rather than locking them up, sending them away to jail?
Versus 3 strikes.
That's a good point, which is you see it, man, because this is what you don't know. they sending all people mentally challenged to prison. They don't have no institutions no more. The institution is the penitentiary. That's their institution. They need to have institutions strictly for people that's mentally challenged, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have it. Look, man, I've been bunking with guys that did some weird things, man. And there was something wrong with them. And I took them to the police. Say, look, man, tell him what you just told me.
Right.
And he told them, and then they still put him back in cell with me. This is a guy that told me and woke me up at 3:00 in the morning, and when he was on his knees and he said, "Feed me through a bottle, man." You want me to put the bottle in his mouth?
Wow.
Now what that look like, man? I'm feeding this guy at 3:00 in the morning with a Bible. He on his knees.
And how does a responding officer respond to something like that? Because they are not trained for mental illness.
There you go. They're not trained.
They're trained to protect and serve, and the ones who few bad apples do spoil some of the bunch. But most of the officers I know, including my auntie Linda Anthony, who served and retired from the Flint Police Department, my dad's younger sister. There's a whole lot of great officers out there, but sometimes they get a little bit of a bad rep. But what I'm going to say, how can they deal with that? Like you said, this mental illness thing, it's massive. It's not even
massive. And not only that, man, a lot of things going on now with the young kids. The young kids is taking them pills like this, going out of style. And then they coming in prison and they somebody else, man. They're not the same people their mama raised. They turn into things, and then they getting their sex taken away from them.
DeWaun.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what's
these
happening.
These young folks, y'all need to listen to Mr. Thompson right here. You know what I'm saying? These young folks that's going into the prison system and the population, 25 years.
Now, when you talking about, because I know the young folks, right? You know, it used to be weed and lean, right? Now they're taking prescription pills. They're popping all type of situations, right? It's being flooded through the community. They off the perks. It's a tragedy, and not knowing what that's doing to them, their mental, their body, and to relationships and their families. I think that is a real statement, right? To all our young people out here nowadays, we have to be very aware of what we're putting in our body and how we're moving around. And I think that's important to touch up on. So you was opening the door for that. Look, listen,
them pills is turning them young people into something else. Mm-hmm. And when they get in prison, man, it just triggered it off when you take a young child away from a woman for all them years, and then they take pills too.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Oh man, they free as a bald-head frog.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just being honest. I know we on the air, you know, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Just keeping it out. That's real.
You know, and they're on the borderline of being something that you don't think they are. You know what I'm saying? But then when they come out, and then they want to be, he's talking about they only want to be with a woman when they've been with a man. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, man. When you get your manhood taken away from you, man.
Forcefully.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, I ain't forcefully with them pills. They doing it voluntarily. You know, they call them closet freaks. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of young boys like that, you know what I'm saying, are going into the system. And it's a shame because most of them is talented and smart. And you know, but the thing is, I don't know what them pills doing to these kids, but it ain't doing nothing good for them. And I'm telling you that somebody got to help these young people, man. They can't do it on their own. That prison is not no place they can do it on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's what contributes to what's going on out here in the world right now, where you know you got the opportunity to choose a gender and you're able to, you know, I guess it's making it more open for those things. So like you was kind of pointing out, when young men or young people go to prison, right, and they're around a bunch of men, and they come back out, right, not even having, I guess, some not having affection for a woman. Do you think that played a part into everything that's going on mixed with the?
Yeah, but you gotta understand, man. You got what you call ass bandits in prison, and ass bandits guys that they ain't seen a woman in 30, 40 years.
And they doing life or something.
You know, so I mean, man, they see them as a woman. You know, they see them as a woman, and you be surprised, man.
What was the one dude that was on the famous prison show, and he said that he can't wait for them to come in with their pants sagging and all that, wasn't that? You know what I'm talking about? You know, the booty bandit, the butt bandit, something crazy, man. But
that's
what about
wild, though, in a sense, though, man?
So what I want to ask you, Mr. Thompson. I'm sorry.
What we saying? So I guess when we talking the Clemency Project, right? What are some of the aims? What is the direction? What are some of the goals and the deliverables that you want to see in that initiative?
I want to see people get free. First and foremost, I want to see them revisit some of these laws, like the habitual offender, a felony murder. Revisit that, because you just can't just get them a sentence and use the word habitual offender and use the word felony murder and then just throw away the key.
Without really getting some real help.
Yeah. Look into what did he really do? What part did he really play?
Right. I think that question has not been asked before. A lot of times people just want to lock you up. It's become a business.
It's a business. But let me say this before I forget, man, because I will forget. You know what I'm saying? Because it just, they didn't do studies, man. They didn't do a study. I hadn't said this before. They didn't done many studies on this. It seems like they do it every 10 years. And they know what the solution is to what's going on. Because they did the study on the habitual offender. They did the studies on felony murder. They didn't already done the studies. And they even said what that does to a human being.
Right.
Spending all them years and psychologically, psychiatrists and everybody done did the studies, man. They done did the studies. You know what I'm saying? So if you did the studies, well, what's going on? Well, where's the solution at? They didn't pay you millions of dollars for this study. Millions of dollars. But you ain't coming with no solution. All of a sudden, everything just disappeared. You disappeared, the money disappeared. Everybody's happy. But the people that you're studying. And I'm telling you, man, they didn't did the studies.
Yeah.
They know what's wrong. They know how to solve this.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
They know what's going on. They did the study with the top minds in America. So what's the hold up? Why are you doing this? For money?
Yeah. I think that's the baseline of it all.
Yeah, and we know we got a crooked parole board. I mean, even if these 10 people wanted to free everybody, how are the 10 people going to do it? So what we're calling on Governor Whitmer, Governor Granholm abolished the parole board. Executive order. Done. And she instituted a parole and commutations board with 15 people, formerly incarcerated, people that study, that did the studies, that know how to fix it. So that's what we want Governor Whitmer to do. Why are we still living under Governor Rick Snyder's parole board? That's who's still there right now. She keeps approving it. Why is that happening? That can change.
And kind of delving into the parole board. I think a lot of folks doesn't understand how that dynamic takes place, right? When you expect folks to come home, right, after serving an amount of time, and they have to go see this board, right, who makes it the final decision, right, whether you come home or not.
Yeah, 10 people.
10 people.
10 people.
10 people that
for 30,000 prisoners plus.
Right.
This is shit.
But may not even understand a person's background, what they have done during their time, the nature of
we don't
crime.
know if they're reading them. We file clemencies. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We get people's files. and we file clemencies that are, can be hundreds of pages,
Mhm.
and we don't know if they're reading them. That's one of the calls
Right.
that we're calling on them. Say, are you actually, let us know that you read it, how much time was spent, who read it,
Right.
and did you receive it? I mean,
Right. And what type of plan of action, right, can we produce? I think, like we said, we may need to get some real people on that board, right?
yeah, that want to do the work.
I'm not even sure who's on the board right now.
Former cops, former
That's it, like right
former
there.
guards. That tells you right there. That tells you right there who's
That's
running.
why I said no. It's a no. It's a no. It's a never. It's a no.
Right.
No.
It's that check all in the email. No.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
we
we
all know that prisons are for profit, right? Nowadays. And then this man has spent all that time in prison. Where was the rehabilitation at? Because isn't your punishment supposed to dictate you learning the lesson and being rehabilitated?
Yeah, ain't no such thing as rehabilitation.
Exactly,
in
because they
Michigan
don't
prison anymore.
do it. They
Ain't no such
don't
thing.
do it. But if they did do it,
You got to do it on your own. Ain't no such thing as
Exactly.
rehabilitation in Michigan prison.
right. But if it was instituted and it was in writing and it was in law, and do you believe that a lot of those guys that you were in there with can be rehabilitated?
Listen, let me tell you. Let me show you the level of thinking. Michigan Department of Correction is on right now.
Mhm.
What do you think about a person got you belly chained, got your ankles chained up,
Mhm.
and then they put a dog collar on you, a dog leash, like a dog,
Mhm.
Less than human.
and you tell me, man, somebody tell me, what is that? Is that a person that show humanity?
Not at all.
Is that a person even know what humanity is all about?
Right. Not at all.
So what I'm trying to tell you, man, is I'm telling you what I experienced, man, what I lived for 25 years. Now, since I've been out, now I got to add on 2 more years, 27 years. I've been on their jurisdiction now for 27 years, man. Because of what they just did to me, they turned me down because of what? Because they said that I'm up under the lifer's law. They consider me up on the life. They consider me up on the life law. I ain't no lifer.
Right.
You mean you consider me as a lifer? Who is you? You
Right.
consider me as a lifer?
You're a dog. I respect that.
Something that's legal now.
See. So they just denied me after my pro agents and they balls.
Wrote letters on your behalf.
And then sign off on me.
Yeah. And still just denied you.
And they denied me, man. And then they told the representative,
Tacked on too.
Representative Neely, Cynthia Neely, told her all kind of mumbo jumbo BS, man. And it's just wrong, man. You know, now they ain't let people out on parole doing way less and even violate their parole and let them off parole. But
Right.
then I ain't did nothing,
Right.
but did the right thing.
Mhm.
And they won't even let me off, man. And then they pro agent sign off, man. Now you tell me what else do they get? They own people.
Yeah, they own bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people over them signed off and they still denied.
They still deny me, man. How strong is that?
Oh, that's a strong hate. That's strong hate.
That's personal.
Oh, it's super personal. It's violation. It's violating human rights.
Yeah.
So think about now. You gotta wait 2 years. You're saying, but before you see the parole board,
Man, I gotta wait.
you can appeal it.
Now I got another 2 years. I gotta do 2 years, man. And
This continued other abuse.
I thought it was gonna be over with. But they pulled this stunt, man, and they trying to say they consider me as they doing the same thing as if I was a lifer. I'm not no lifer. I was in there for 3 pounds of marijuana and 3 pounds of marijuana. Now tell me, who had marijuana killed? Who had marijuana killed?
Right.
In my opinion, if anything, it slowed crime down.
Right.
I'm dead serious. It's slow crime down.
Well, I'm just trying to show you how broken the system. That's why I want you to understand. If you don't understand nothing else, I want you to understand how broken the system is. You can judge how broken the system is. What I'm telling you about me.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, for you to have to do all that time for a non-violent crime is simply put ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You should have never had to do all that time for a non-violent crime.
And what year did it take place?
96.
So in 96, they was locking boys away for 20 plus years for marijuana.
It was 42 to 60.
Yeah, no, yeah, that 42 to 42.
That was they
60
trying to kill him. That's a death sentence
for marijuana.
Yeah.
This ain't like it was cocaine. It wasn't crack. It wasn't a gun.
No.
It wasn't a murder. It wasn't none of that.
I have
It
a
was
family member
marijuana.
who
What was the guidelines at the time, though?
With the guidelines was, you know, now you got to remember, man, Michigan,
that's
they love stacking charges on each other. You can get a felony, and then the next thing you know, you got seven felonies.
When Nancy Reagan and them put their war on drugs too and all that.
Yeah, the
And
war
the
on
bushes
drugs.
and
The
all
war on
that.
drugs didn't hurt nobody, but that terrorist bill you're talking about, and it didn't hurt nobody but people of color. It didn't hurt the terrorists. It hurt the people. You know what I'm saying? Black people within the urban areas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't hurt them terrorists. Shit, the terrorists got doing good.
Real good.
They're living good out here, man. That is great.
Just say no, 3 strikes you out, 3 pounds, 25 years. That make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I want to go back into the Michigan guidelines, right? So when you were charged for marijuana, 3 pounds of marijuana, back in the 90s, the guidelines for marijuana was what?
It wouldn't get no time for no marijuana.
That's what I'm
man.
saying.
But you got to remember, you keep track. You got to remember that they added the habitual offender onto that. You know, they stacked the charges. Now listen, they stacked the charges,
right?
And then they use the word, well, you're a habitual offender.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen,
the key word, habitual.
Habitual. There you go.
And then running concurrent.
Yeah, and then you stack the charge, and then I was up for 4 years, 4 years for the marijuana.
Right.
Now they can triple it.
I see. Yeah.
See, it's one person that learned that you met her, my point person, Dee Dee Kirkwood. This done taught her. This done taught her about the mission primary correction, the justice system, how broken it is, and everything. She been filing. And then when I was in prison, I was telling her, Didi, look, you got to do this. You got to do this. Look what they're doing to me now. Look, this is wrong. But the thing is, what I'm saying is this. Even she lived way in California. Even her, she felt how bad the system is and how broken it is. And before I came here, she told me, she said, speak the truth, Meeko. Go ahead and let them have it. Go ahead. This is your time now. Do it now.
Right.
So that's what I'm here doing, man.
Right.
Giving it to you in a raw.
Mr. Thompson, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast today to talk about this Clemency Project. And then I want to double back down on how you feel about the younger generation, because you got Marshall and you got Mike and people of all different ethnicities, all different ethnic backgrounds that are willing to fight. And they don't believe that same old that the justice system has became and what it is.
You don't believe it? What you mean you don't believe it?
Well, I'm saying that it's a whole lot of the young generation that ain't coming up the same way as you know what I'm saying?
I think people, in a way, we need to educate.
Exactly.
So a part of the Clemency Project, are we focusing on educating?
I mean, that's what Meeko's doing. You know, it's getting people like Meeko, that wisdom that spent 25, 40 years and getting back into the community. That's what the work is. That's what the Clemency Project's doing.
And then showing that you can be a productive citizen, coming out on a community podcast and letting people know the injustices of the criminal process and how it targets minorities, you know what I'm saying, black and brown or whatever.
But I think that's probably the problem, the reason why I ain't getting out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't grant my parole. They didn't grant me that parole after my parole agent and everybody signed off. They didn't grant it. They denied it. Mainly because I am talking. Mainly because I am saying things they don't want to be me to tell people.
That's right.
And see, so what they're doing is they're gonna try to make it uncomfortable as possible for me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we know you ain't gonna do nothing wrong, but we're gonna make it uncomfortable as possible. You know what I'm saying? Your ass gonna stay here until you do the 4 years, you know what I'm saying, parole. I don't give a damn about how many other people we didn't let out that screwed up. But we talking about you. We talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You run around here talking about us, but we got the power.
Mm-hmm.
And which they do. They got the power to hold me in here. But the one thing about it, and I want you to know this, and I'm looking your face and your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know this. You can't do no more to me than you had already done.
Come on now. Real talk. That's right.
And I want you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about me, I'm not for sale.
That's it.
And I want you to know that.
Respect that.
And anybody that work with me is not for sale.
You hear that, Marshall Mike? That's why y'all running.
Oh, we ain't for sale.
Come on now.
Man.
Come on.
Meeko speaking that truth.
Real talk. A lot of folks don't be speaking that truth and scared to go up against the system.
Oh, yeah.
Scared to go up against this machine.
No.
Right? Like you said, man, you know, the worst has been done to you. Right?
Man, they took 25 years
Yeah,
of
you know what I'm saying?
life. It was 27 now.
Yeah.
For 27 years of my life, man. And you think I'm supposed to get scared now?
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, I'm ready to go kick a door in right now. What's up, man?
You got some prison doors. Let's go.
See,
Let's
that's
go.
the-
Get up
real
on
talk.
the team. You part of the team now?
Oh, I'm
You part
down.
of the team now.
Thompson.
Let's
I'm
go.
down. I'm down
Get with it.
You know what I'm saying?
I said, come on with it, Mr. Thompson. I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you. Come
So,
on with it.
well, I'm just speaking the way I feel, man. You know,
Speaking from the heart.
and I'm speaking just like I tell people. I want you to listen to this too as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not no politician. I'm not no politician. I want you to understand this. I'm not no politician. And I'm not no motivational speaker.
Did you motivate them?
Yeah, okay, but I might be motivating, but I'm telling you, I'm not no motivational speaker.
Yeah.
But if I am accidentally, it's accidentally. You know what I'm saying? But I don't be trying to be one. Okay, but my thing is speak to one heart to another heart.
Mm-hmm.
And hope I can touch the conscience of the person I'm speaking to.
Mm. Yeah, I think you do, man. So even just kind of taking that point. So transitioning, taking and making your voice power, right? And speaking to the mind, even though you may not be a speaker, but your motivation. So tell me about this documentary, right? You know what I'm saying? You was definitely, you know, highlighted your life and what you've been through, and then some of the initiatives that you got going on right now. Tell me, man, give me a glimpse about the documentary and what it meant to you, you know, what you felt, and what's going on afterwards.
With the documentary, hey, man, I'm glad you ain't got it in here because I get emotional. See, I've been all over the country showing that documentary, man. It was up for Oscar. And we was in a race, baby. We was in a race to the end for that Oscar, man. You know,
come on, man, that's big, though.
And it just that that documentary, I lived it. So when we going to different places, Mark and Mike will tell you, I couldn't go sit out there and watch the movie because they want me to speak after the movie was over and I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And it was too much for me because I seen all the emotions and all that, and I was trying to hit my mark, hit my targets of speaking, and I couldn't hit it, man, because my emotions got in the way.
I mean, but you move the crowd though. So what you don't know is that after every time that documentary showed, Meeko got up there and spoke 100, 200 people. Every single person in that room is crying, is listening, changing hearts. So he's educating people that don't usually get educated on this. So that's the work, you know. That's the power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a man came to me, we was at the Hamptons. Marshall and Mike was there. I mean, they was there. And this man came to me as I got through speaking, man. And this is a white guy now, a rich white guy. And he was crying like a baby, man. He was crying like a baby when he
on your shoulder, leaning on you, crying on you,
crying like a baby, man. And that wasn't the first time, man. It happened everywhere I went, from New York to Chicago to Palm Springs to Mexico. Mexico, Texas. You know, they all did the same thing. And that documentary supposed to got an Oscar, man. It's supposed to got an Oscar, but getting an Oscar is so many politics that is involved in that, man.
I was about to say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't have the people playing the politics with them, and it takes money to win them Oscars, man.
Of course.
So I was out the race, but I'm telling you, man, that Michael Thompson sentence was in the race, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
If people would really, if the people's vote would have gave it to me, I would have got it. But if some other politics went involved in it, even Michael Moore, you know what I'm saying, who do movies.
The documentary back in the day for Flint.
Mike Moore voted for the Michael Thompson sentence, man. You know what I'm saying? He said, I think you might get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I went to his studio and
Traverse City.
Yeah, Traverse City, man. Hey, I ain't never seen a city like Traverse City, but hey, man, I'm talking about that's in Michigan. I ain't never seen Traverse City is. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And then you talking about you got a McDonald's paying $22 an hour.
I didn't know that.
Yes, $22 an hour. And then you got them people.
That's a career.
Then if you didn't know you was in Traverse City, you think you in Palm Springs, man.
Wow.
That's how beautiful it is. All the McKinneys and all that stuff, and everybody walk around. Everybody's so nice and happy. And you got these stores and different things. And look, man, Traverse City, and I'll tell anybody, Traverse City is something I never thought existed in Michigan. And buddy, I'm going back.
Okay.
I'm going back to
some cherries. He likes some cherries.
Yeah, I like those cherries. And Traverse City is a place, if you want to get away, Traverse City is a nice place.
There and give it a shot and go up there and visit and see what's going on down there.
Especially me, you know what I'm saying, going by, where you know, been in prison all this time, and I was trying to get rid of some of the things that I developed during the time I was in prison, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to get rid of them, man, some of the language and some of the terminologies. And, you know, I know I'm messed up, and just like I tell people, if you did over 20 years, something didn't happen to you. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
If you did 20 years, something didn't happen to you, because it happened to me.
Mentally and physically.
Man, I done had anxiety attack that I thought I was having a stroke at 3:00 in the morning, man. You can't do that kind of time unless you go through something. Look at Horace Peterson. He had a stroke. You know what I'm saying? But he survived it.
Yeah.
But he had a stroke.
I couldn't imagine it.
I mean, that's part of the reform too, is food conditions. I mean, if they ain't feeding you no food, that ain't food.
And then the food, look at the food they feed you. And then I told you, man, they feed you. Look at, sneak some of that food out and try to feed your dog. And see what your dog do. He look at you crazy. Man, all this good stuff you been feeding me, now you gonna give me this?
Sniff it and walk away, man.
Yeah.
Look at you like,
yeah, boy.
And then healthcare. Man, don't let me tell you about healthcare. Healthcare, that's the reason why you see me work where it came, man. I had to have a hip replacement, I had to have a knee replacement. Man, I've been crying for 14 years for help, and all they gave me was Tylenol. 14 years I was in pain, man. And then when I get out, they said, man, you got to have hip surgery. I said, I ain't having both of them. I had one at a time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I hit the hip, and then I hit the knee. But, man, I was in pain. Just imagine you having a hip replacement, a knee replacement.
Yeah, that's the elder abuse. That's why we got a categorical clemency of an elder.
And just imagine how how you would be. Everybody, people say, welcome to King. I say, hey man, look, man, I cried for 14 years. I didn't have no knee worked on. I had a knee replacement. That ain't no joke. I thought the hip was bad. That knee, it ain't no joke, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you have a knee replacement. It's no joke.
So for like 14 years, you pleaded and reached out
Cried
for help.
Cried for pain, man.
At 14 whole years, and they just gave you.
And then when I get out, and then you get an MRI, in prison. That's unheard of, man.
Mm-hmm.
You get an MRI in prison. That's unheard of because it costs too much. You're not gonna get nothing that costs something. Anything that costs something, you're not gonna get it in there. Your ass gonna suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did to me. Made me suffer.
So man, that brings me to the thing of saying when you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about the food, you're talking about the low wages, right? They're killing you off, making money off of you, right? And treating you like crap. And like you said, when the man said, if you do 20 years, man, you gonna be hurt. You gonna have some ailments somewhere, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. It's just something gonna be off. So how are you practicing self-care, and how are you working on, building yourself back up?
Well, mentally, I'm strong. You got to be strong to go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
So mentally, I know I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm strong mentally.
That's good.
And I'm trying to build an empire, man. I'm trying to build an empire with the Michael Thompson Clemency.
Mm-hmm.
But we need some help. You know what I'm saying? Because this stuff don't come free. It ain't nothing free. So we need financial help.
Mm-hmm.
And because we want to get more people out. We don't want to have to, limit or pick the people we get out. And anybody that needs help, that we can help, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to limit myself to penny pinching with pennies. Well, we're going to get X amount of dollars. Well, we're going to represent him. We're going to represent him. I want to represent everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well drop it. We on YouTube and Facebook. You could have dropped that. You could have dropped that bomb right there. You could have dropped it. You might as well drop it.
Governor Whitmer can do it. She can sign those clemencies. That's what we need. We all got to write those letters. So go to our website, mtclemency.com, get involved.
Yeah.
Reach out.
You're right. That's right.
I want to touch up on that. How is working with...
I want to mention something about when you get the next one. I want to talk about the gangs, man.
Oh, yeah. We'll dive into
it's something I want to say about that.
So it's okay. So before we go into the gangs, we mentioned the governor can do it. We mentioned that she can sign off and make a change.
She can sign off just like this governor, what's his name? K. Brown.
Yep.
Oregon. We were with her just recently, man. And I got a award.
What state is that from?
Oregon.
Oregon, the governor of Oregon.
Yeah, and I got an award with her. It's a serious award, man. I got it from Preston University.
Okay.
And I got it. Me and her received this award.
Leadership and clemency.
You're right. And so go ahead.
No, you finish up an award. Now I want to come in about that.
And they told me there's only 2 people that received this award so far. It was me and this lady named K. Brown, or Governor Brown.
So I want to the governor can sign it with she can make a change with the signing of her pen.
Flick of a pen, man. Flick of a pen.
Yeah. No matter what the pro board said, even if the pro board says no, she can say yes.
She got the power. She got the power.
She got the power. So where is she in the scheme of this? Is she? Do you feel like she's responsive and she's gonna move and support the project, or we need to make sure that she get active to be able to get behind this initiative?
She got good potential. She got good potential, and I haven't yet to speak to her yet, but soon I will speak to her, and I'll give you a better feel after I speak to her.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, they're hiring their administration, the Whitmer administration, planning to hire a staffer to run a clemency program. So by all accounts, we got to make sure they hire that person, and we got to make sure it's as broad as a categorical clemency program as we can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So I think so that's an initiative right there. The governor can do a lot of things, even when you're talking about dealing with clemency, dealing with making folks whole here in the city of Flint as it relates to the water crisis, as it relates to education here in the state of Michigan.
Harbor funds,
all type of things that can be taking place, right? And this is my thing, right? I guess this is when I talk about from my perspective. Like when people are in position of power, we don't need to be stagnant. We don't need to be dragging feet. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing this out there in general because working with a lot of politicians and legislators, they can do a lot of work, but sometimes they slow to move. And people are dying every day. People need this support and help right now. They can't wait for, a committee to be formed and people to be hired and all these different things. We need this stuff to done today. We need it done now. And if you can make it happen, by all means necessary, you should do it.
Well, just like a guy you're speaking about people dying. One of our people died, before we can get him out. I'm saying,
Elizabeth, probably was a couple people. I know a bunch of people.
But this guy died. And what he was in prison for was a fist fight.
Mm-hmm.
He died in prison, and he was trying to get him out, but he died before we can get him out, man.
Yeah, see, that's a tragic.
Yeah, that's a tragedy.
How long
but now
was he in there?
He was in there for
20, 25 years.
25 years.
Fist fight.
Yeah, fist fight, man.
Yeah, the man died.
Yeah, the guy died.
Manslaughter.
But it could have been. He could have died. A fist fight is a fist fight, man.
Right.
You don't know how hard a blow, a deadly blow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It can happen. Me and him used to work out together. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm into the arts, and he into the arts.
Yeah.
And so we giving the room, tearing up the room, man.
Come on, now.
And they used to think we in there fighting.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But no, we would be, and then we be bragging. He be telling me, yeah. You see how I slipped that, man? You see how, I see you seen how I slapped you in the back of your head?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. But listen, let me tell you about these gangs, man. Because I always want this to get out. And I want them to know I love them. I love the young people. And I love, even though you're in a gang, I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't love what you're doing to your community. And especially older people. I don't like that, man. I don't like what you're doing. But let me tell you something about gangs, man. So you young people can be educated about gangs like I did in prison. And them boys woke up. I used to have a group called Wash Off Your Heart. And they was standing one morning to get in there to hear me speak.
Mr. Thompson, repeat that again. What was the group called again?
Wash Your Heart. Wash Off Your Heart. And this one had nothing to do with no certificate for the parole board or nothing. These guys was coming in every time they hear I was going to speak. And they used to pile up in the room, man.
Volunteer.
And so, and what broke it up was they kind of said I was trying to form a Mobile group. And that was live, man. I ain't never joined no.
You said that the prison?
Yeah. And so they was going to ride my ass way up north somewhere, man.
Your movement was way too strong.
Me and this guy named Silk.
Y'all was
that got it died, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all was changing the paradigm.
Oh, man, we was changing. But this is what I told them. I want you to follow me, man. It's a story that's very crucial. And I want you to understand it. I told him, I said, listen, man. There was a guy who was an A student. And he was once an A student, but then he turned into a crackhead. And then he started smoking and everything. And then he caught a case. Then he come to prison and they wash him off like he washed everybody else and put him on the same clothes on. But now he was once an A student, so now he turned back to being an A student now. Now he's been profiled in the Quran, profiled in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? He's profiled in reading and everything. Okay, now this guy become a leader or whatever it is, a gang, a religious group or whatever. He become a leader. Now he giving orders.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's giving orders, but he was a bum.
Right.
But he was living underneath the bridge. He was a crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's giving orders, making you put your life on the line because he can read better than you.
Mm.
Okay. And I told them this. I said, man, let me tell you something, how stupid you people are. You following people you don't know, and you following people that have not earned his stripes.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives orders unless they earn their stripes.
That's right.
That's all the world.
Mm-hmm.
You got to earn your stripes. Even in the military, you ain't gonna find nobody give orders unless they earn their stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked at me. I said, man, you taking orders from somebody that used to be a crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
You bum. You ain't earned no stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke a bunch of them up with that story.
See? Nah, that's deep. I mean, I do. You have to appreciate somebody who has been through the mud, right? Has earned their stripes.
Yeah.
That can tell you the pitfalls, right? But lead you in the right direction to change the game.
You can't just give nobody. I mean, you don't put your life, but the types of story, you don't give your life, and you put your life on the line for somebody that didn't earn those stripes.
Not at all.
No, you never do that.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? But I think more or less a lot of folks that they following and being, you know, led astray. Right? And that happens on a regular. You got folks out here in this community that's leading people blindly and earning no stripes. And, you know, calling the shots. But they ain't putting in no work.
Yeah.
But that's a common thing though. Me. A lot of folks is in position right now and did shit.
You know.
And you wondering like, damn, I wonder why we in the situation, the position we in now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Right now in jobs, you know, in the government, you know, in the government, same thing.
Man,
man.
come on, man. Real talk. I watch this stuff from the sideline.
Yeah.
Man, this is terrible, right?
Yeah.
But we wonder why. And we'll continue to keep putting these people in position.
But you look at that's all you got to do is what I just laid out. It ain't just for gangs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's for life itself. You know what I'm saying? In everyday life, like the government on down to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they apply to everybody.
Right.
You know, you got these people, you know what I'm saying, that say they earned their stripes, but they ain't earned their stripes.
They ain't earned their stripe out there, you know, just lollygagging. And like even to some of these questions that folks is putting on the chat, when you're talking about the relationship here in the city of Flint, when you're talking about our government, when you're talking about, you know, Gretchen has came here many times. Dana Nessel has came to the city many times during the prep rally, during election time. But when we really need the work done, right? And I'm just being honest, man. We need work done that's been outdated. We need folks to get to it. And the folks that we elect down at City Hall, on the council, at the state representative level, at the commissioner level, is a reflection of where this community is right now. And it's daunting. So as a young brother in this city, right, that really want to see some change, that really want a foundation or a structure to stand on so they can do something different. That can change. I know we talked about GM, this being a GM city, and once upon a time we was the third richest per capita city in America. There's no vision in the city of Flint right now.
Well, one thing I do know, and me, Marshall, and Mike went down to Detroit to this recreation center. It's like a guy named Larry Buttersmith asked us to come down there. He wanted to show us his recreation center down there. And I went down there, man. And it was very impressive. Very impressive. And it really touched me, man. Mm. Then I come back to Flint. I wonder why Flint don't have no recreation center.
Right.
Why they don't have something for young people, man?
Come on, y'all had that. I mean, we went back. It was once upon a time. It was that.
Yeah, we had all that.
Yeah.
Even when I went to school. Yeah. When I went to school.
Yeah.
All our schools. Look at our school system.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, We went down there, and I turned to Marshall and Mike, and I said, "Hey, man, how come Flint can't have something like this?"
We just, I don't think that we even put a plan in place.
Well, it need to be in place. You know, it need to be in place, and you need to start thinking about the kids. You need to start thinking more, investing more into the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You need this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? This is look. You don't have nothing for them to do, nothing for them to play with, so they're gonna play with guns.
That's what happened.
That's but the only thing, there ain't no toy guns. These some real guns.
Yeah.
And see, so you got to get them kids something to play with, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give them nothing to get rid of some of the energies they got, and you don't want, and them energies good because that's how pro athletes be developed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they need this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they need something to do in this city. General Motors left them in a bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
General Motors left them without saying goodbye.
Mm.
You know, General Motors did what they did to the water.
They did, sure did.
You know, they did what they did to the water.
The soil and the ground.
Yeah, all that.
Right.
But look at them, man. Look at the people.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Flint. Flint used to be a beautiful city, man. Flint used to be one of the money-making cities in the world.
I tell everybody to this day, when I went to the stores I used to go to back in the day and all that, there was guys who looked just like you who own the stores.
Yeah.
They own the businesses up there, the gas stations, 7-Elevens, all of those.
You talk about the St. John's neighborhood.
But now you got people who don't even speak English. Owning everything.
And we patronize it. We go grocery shopping at the corner store. And then we wonder why we operate eating all this low vibration food, right? And we don't own none of the shops in our neighborhoods when we once did. And they don't have no responsibility to the community. They send their money out to wherever they come from, Hamtramck, right? Overseas, whatever the case may be. They bring other family members in after 7 years, come up for tax purposes. It's unfortunate, and I just really hope that, you know, it's a bridge that can be built between the young people and our elders, right? The people that have benefited from those times when Flint flourished. And then for the young energy that's attracted right now, that's willing to fight for whatever, even the peanuts that's sitting around here, making a bridge and making it make sense. So then that way we building foundations and structures and leaving legacies.
Man, what they're doing is making the young people hate Flint.
And move out.
You know what I'm saying? And move out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're doing that. They're making the young people hate Flint, and then they're showing it in anger.
That's right.
They're showing it in how they crying back. They're crying back, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're crying back. They're picking up guns and making noise, man. And then they say, "Well, you don't hear me? You hear me now?"
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
See, so my thing is these young people, you know, ain't nobody. They don't think nobody listening to them. But I want y'all to know, young people, I hear you, and I'm trying to meet you halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Help me meet you halfway.
Mm.
But I'm here for you, man. Don't do nothing stupid that you end up back in prison. Don't do that. Prison is an ugly place. I don't know if all y'all ready for it. It's an ugly place, man. And please, I beg you, get your life together, go to school, and get a good education and get the fuck out of here.
Simply put.
Seriously, man. That's what you need to do, and then you ain't got to worry about it no more. You can live happy ever after.
Put some love on that right there. Let's put some love on that right there.
I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to see Flint, you know, be a robust community again. I want to see the beauty in this city again, right? You know, I had opportunities to leave and go elsewhere and do different things, right? But it's just, and I've done that. You know, it's been 10 years away from this motherfucker, just come back. But it's just the thing. You know, I'm a Flintstone to death, Flintstone in the heart, And I feel it's a duty, man, to play a part in bringing this back up. And so I appreciate you, man, motivating the young people, man, to get educated, right? Get inspired, right? Build a business, right? Start networking with each other. Start looking at how we can create a vision for the future. That's inspiring, right? And then also to our elder leadership, our folks that's in position, our folks that's doing the thing right now, that's been doing it for a long time, right? It's not that we want to, make it on our own. You know how a lot of times young people got to get it out the mud. But what we really wanted was for folks to make sure that they had a pathway laid out for us to carry that torch and move much farther along. And that's where, I'm hoping to see one day, right? One day when we can settle all our differences and say, hey, this is going to be a plan of action for us. And this is how we're going to move. And then we can talk about this 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now and say, look what we did. Look at the transitions that Flint has made from a time of being a very prosperous city to going to a hellhole to now once again rising like a phoenix.
Yeah, that's the work of CVI, Community Violence Intervention. So there's money at the state level for formerly incarcerated to get back to the community, teach the youth. Mm-hmm. That's the work we're working on in Detroit, Lansing.
I like to get that, yeah. Is that here in Flint?
I haven't seen it too much in Flint, but we need to get it here. That's why I'm bringing it up. CVI, yeah. There's money out there.
I like for us to get
So that's CVI?
CVI, Community Violence Intervention.
Okay.
I like us to get connected to those money streams, right? Yeah. Because like Meek said from the beginning, it's going to take money. We can't sit up here and keep talking about wanting to do some stuff and we ain't got no resources. It's going to take money. So if that means that all of us putting our dollars together, right, and then seeking out those funding sources, writing up grants, but then also having our own earned income where we ain't got to be beholden to nothing or nobody or no agency.
And this is what I want you to do, though. I want you to get them studies. Mm-hmm. Ask them for them studies that they did. You for the bitch offender and felony murder.
Okay.
And just ask them the mental health studies. Those who mentally challenged that's in prison. Mm-hmm. Tell them to give you them studies. They got the numbers. Mm-hmm. Ask them to give you them studies. And you read them and you'll see. They already know. Mm-hmm. They already know, man. Them motherfuckers know, man. Mm-hmm. They know. They know. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm telling you, man, is get them studies. Now they didn't pay for them.
Maybe
I'm sure they open to the public now. Although every 10 years they do a study, man.
They always study like some guinea pigs.
But my thing is, you didn't study long enough. Now where's them studies at? And what did you come up with? What did you come up with?
I tell you what, they put $17 million in a juvenile detention center back at Pasadena Playhouse. That's really put some money here. Instead of putting that type of flow into a juvenile detention center, we could have had 4 youth and development centers. $17 million.
Man, what you gonna do with $17 million? Some pull-up bars or something?
Lock all the young boys up. You already know.
Like a whole bunch of more rooms and a whole bunch of more days for children to be in solitary confinement and everything else.
Just asking. I don't know what your relationship is with one Nation Outside or anything like that with Janelle and Percy, but that may be another connection because they're people that have transitioned and actually have relationships with some of these higher ups, regardless of what those relationships are. But that may be a connect right there in order to link in together with folks that have been previously incarcerated. There are in order to push that narrative to actually actualize into money.
Sorry about that, y'all. We just had a little interruption. The devil is working, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's spitting too much fire over here.
He's spitting too much fire right now. But then also, when you was talking about an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So when these young people don't have a source of opportunity or they don't have nowhere to go, just like now they got that juvenile detention to go to, right? For all the young boys and the young people that has been impacted by the Flint water crisis, and they have learning disabilities, right? Behavior issues, and now they're gonna find themselves in a detention center.
17 million, right?
17 million. We could have been looking at how can we source that for mental health? How can we have a youth and development center, right? On 4 quadrants of the city.
Yeah, every neighborhood.
Every neighborhood, right? You got libraries, you got books in there, right? You got mentors, educators, you got cultural awareness. They learn about themselves. I'm gonna be like this too. Hold on, turn it off.
My bad, bro.
I might be in the camera right now, but
Hold on. All right, we back. Let's see, we back on. We apologize. We had a little technical. We had a little technical difficulty for everybody. We apologize. We appreciate everybody for jumping back on. But we were just talking about. So we got 17 million for a juvenile detention center. We could have put that money into a youth and development center where you had it on 4 different parts of the city, where you had it in neighborhoods. You can replace these schools that's been ran down. You can make it a center for that neighborhood. You have a library. You have cultural awareness. You have youth activities in sports. Because a lot of Flint is known for a lot of sports. We build a lot of great people from the city. What we have to do is start utilizing those resources to be able to make the change. And so those are some of the things that I would like to see here in the city. Those are the things that I want to continue to be a part of. And I'm going to do some more research on some of those things that you shut out there, right?
You need to do that. You'll be surprised, man. You'll be surprised what you find in them studies. And you're going to see how on point they are. They already know. They know the people they're dealing with. They know, man, because I read the study. And it was right on point.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but listen, speaking about these organizations, these different organizations you were speaking about, stuff. I don't, I done went to a few meetings and stuff, and I heard a few of them cats, stuff like that. But my thing is, every time I come away from that, I come away that you got more chiefs and don't hardly have no Indians. And it seems like everybody want to be a chief. And so I just stay away from that, My thing is, I'm not bigger than him. I'm not bigger than him. My thing is, whoever can make it happen, that's what I'm with you, And then I become your help.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So it's just that I'm not into egotistic stuff, I'm not into big, mean, little you and all that kind of stuff. Look, man, these guys need our help. There's some guys need our help in there, man. I mean, they really hurt, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't bring the light to what's going on with them, just like I said, they walking in them little boys with belly chains and ankle braces, and with a dog leash.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's humiliation. They ain't no walking no motherfucker nowhere, man.
Right.
That's humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What you trying to do? Humiliate the man?
Right.
You trying to take everything you away from me, all the life.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to take all his morals and principles.
That's exactly what it is. Devalue you, right?
Trying to break you down.
Trying
to make you slip up, keep you locked up.
Right.
So I'm telling you, man, I lived it for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it. I sat there and watched it. I used to sit there and tell myself, I said, one day I'm gonna have a chance to make this shit come back and haunt their ass.
Come on now.
That's what I'm doing now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear the anger in my voice, whatever. But man, what I seen, I wouldn't want nobody else to see this shit. You ain't gonna never see it, because they ain't gonna let you see it. Mm-hmm. Every time the politicians come through the prison, they clean the prison up and they have shown the best light. Mm-hmm. Then when they leave, they kick you in your ass. Man, get your motherfucking ass back where you belong.
Right.
See, so I'm just telling you the real, man. I'm telling you what you ain't gonna never see. I'm telling you what you ain't gonna never hear. But I lived it for 25 years with these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yes, they got some bad guys in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some guys need to be in prison. Yes.
Mm.
But they got some good ones in there too.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Mm-hmm.
How many good brothers
They
that
got
are
some good ones in there too.
that are capable of being rehabilitated and coming back out in society and making a difference?
They got some
because they
good
made
ones
a
in
couple
there
of
too.
mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I know
And
it's a
so
lot.
the good ones they gotta have in there. You know what you want to do, throwing them in the basket with everything else, and then you never see their potential, their full potential.
Mm-hmm.
You never give them a chance to live, you know what I'm saying, the life, you know what I'm saying, a positive life. You know, I mean, what are you gonna do? When is you gonna say enough is enough?
Mm.
When is you gonna say enough is enough?
And I think I'm gonna put this one out here and I'm gonna leave it alone. But you know, there's no country on the planet that has more incarcerated people than the United States of America.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all around the world. Everybody know that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? But America don't care.
When have they ever really cared? Ask yourself that. Since the beginning of, since the last 400 years, it's been a system. They never really cared.
Invest money in making people happy, not sad.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you invest more money in making people happy and not sad? You know, this is America, a rich country, the land of the free.
More money in America than anywhere else in the world. You don't believe it? Google it.
You know, it says 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth in this continent new nation, conceited in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Come on now.
Now, I ask you, how equal are we? I mean, this is what you've written. This is what the famous Lincoln written.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me how much of that is true today?
That's the same as the
It's pretty much
proclamation. When you
hypocritical.
talk about us celebrating Juneteenth, and I'm definitely big repping for Juneteenth. But when you understand that the proclamation was only created because he was forced to do it, never because people just wanted to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And we got to understand, this is the type of situation that we dealing with. So this should be a call to all good people who care for humanity, that want to make a difference, want to make a change, right? I don't want my babies talking about the same stuff, man, 20 years from now. I think that would be just ill-different. It would be ill-advised. I would be hurt. I think when my grandfather tell me, man, he living vicariously through me, right? When we talking about doing the Black Lives Matter and out there protesting all these different areas just to make sure people treat us right. I think, it's the same. It's like a rerun that took place 50 years ago. And if we ain't done it right in the next 100 years, then something is serious wrong. And I would never want that, right? Everybody would want to live comfortable, have a high quality of life. We shouldn't be feeling like we have to be subjected to prison. Like the brother said, people make decisions, people make bad decisions sometimes. I understand that, right? Everybody make decisions, right? But when you talk about corrective behavior, it don't take 40 years for somebody to get it right after they done committed a nonviolent act. When they probably made the decision when they was young, probably just to feed themselves or their family.
Where's rehabilitation in a nonviolent act? Where is that at?
Well, I asked any
you have to do 25.
I asked every black man that's living, that living in prison, and I used to ask them. I said, man, you think it's a game? I said, you think it's a game, man? You think these people bullshitting with you?
Right.
Man, these people is not bullshitting with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look, when you go in the bathroom, look in the mirror. I said, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you going to ever truly live before you die? I ain't talking about living with peanuts. I'm talking about living with groceries.
Come on now. Come on.
I ain't talking about no peanuts, brother. You know what I'm talking about?
Come
And
on
you're
now.
gonna ever live with groceries, man. And I said, just go in the mirror and look at yourself. Just ask yourself that question. And if you can't answer, you should get scared of the motherfucker, man.
That's right. That's right. And being honest with yourself. Like, you know what? I think that serves a point, right? Instead of us taking these small wins, right? How do we develop and build a machine for the big win? I think that's what we're talking about winning now. How do we just stop taking these crumbs that we've been getting and go for the loaf? And we all got to be committed to that.
Yeah, but you got to be ready for it.
You got to be ready to die for it. Like, man, when you talk about the Montgomery busboy guy, when you talking about the civil rights, we talking about them soldiers that put it all on the line. When you talking about the Haitian Revolution in 1804.
Yeah, but you
got to be ready for all that. And people be playing. You don't really want to see that. They ain't ready for that. They too comfortable.
You got to stop.
Massacre in Oklahoma.
Man, all that, bro.
Black Wall Street.
Wall Street. Till we step up and start stepping on toes ourselves, stop being timid, stop being conforming to society. This shit ain't gonna happen. We're gonna sit up there and keep getting baby food. And that's all it is.
So based on what you just said, I think one of the things we need to do is put our we start on a platform such as like Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics and use the levels in which he said we need in order to build a significant base to be able to fight the proper fight. You know, the levels that he said we need to have. We need to have strategy. We need to have research and development. We need to have economics, and we need to have all these different things in place. So when we deal with opposition, we're fighting the same fight and not having a struggle or a perpetual struggle, but we're having a fight. And those fights lead to gaining ground and then us getting the resources that we need as people in this country to do the things that we need. So my whole point is saying, like, Dr. Claude Anderson wrote it all out. He gave us the plan.
Yeah.
But we haven't collectively come up and say, hey, 10,000 of us are going to strictly get with this plan. And we're going to invest in this plan this way and use Dr. Claude Anderson while he's still here in order to implement that. Because he worked in the highest levels of the country in order to be able to come up with these plans. Something like that.
No, I buy that. You know, and Claude had a strong plan, just like the Black Panthers had a 10-point plan. I think we look at all those plans, right? And we combine what we're dealing with today. And we build a strategy that we all buy into. Everybody gonna follow this. This is how we gonna live, right? This is how we gonna support our efforts. And we really be serious about it. We change the world. They always said, man, it took 10 people to change the world. When we talk about Jesus, man, he had 11 disciples, so 12 disciples, I'm sorry. But it took just that many people to change the mindset and perception of people around the world. And that's what it's gonna take for us here in this city, us for talking about clemency, right? And fighting for those who are voiceless and they don't have the resources, and don't have the time to be able to do it because they living in treacherous situations. So while we out here on the streets, while we out here in this community, while we out here living life, make sure that we be about a real fight. So I support the Clemency Project, and I support anything that I can do on my end or whatever the case is needed for me, man. We're gonna do it all. I support addressing the governor and those who are in position that can make this happen, change tomorrow. Right? We ain't got to be going for months and months and years talking about this. You want to do the right thing now. Do the right thing now. So in closing, right, what is our next steps for the Clemency Project? You, Mr. Thompson, the team for the Thompson Clemency Project, and how we can support it from the community.
Well, I want to close this with this. I'm not no guy, that like to do a lot of potluck meetings. I'm not into that. I ain't into listen to a bunch of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into none of that. I ain't into listening to a person that like to hear himself talk and sound good to them. You know what I'm saying? And so they can go look in the mirror and then feel good. But it's one thing I'm not into. But one thing I am into, and that's action. Action is what I'm all about, man. I'm not into all this potluck meeting stuff. You know what I'm saying? I ain't into that. If you about action, come with me. If you would like to, be seen and do potlucks and talk about shit every week, that's you, man. But there's people hurting inside that prison. They're hurting. They need my help, and they need your help. And see, so I'm all about action. Now, if you about action, come to the Michael Thompson Clemency and talk to us, because we'll talk to you.
Yeah, justice delayed, justice denied. It's time for the governor to act. It's time for us all to act. We gotta call her. We gotta write letters to the pro board, write letters to the governor. Let's make it happen. Thank you for having us. And mtclemency.com. Reach out to us. mtclemency@gmail.com.
mtclemency@gmail.com. Chris, you want to get in here a little bit? You want to say something?
Mike.
Oh man,
I'm
just thrilled you guys are putting on this show. We gotta let people go. We've got the governor. We've been honored for years for this. She's committed now to do some form of a clemency program, some form of a categorical clemency program. She says her legal counsel says they want community support, wants input. So we got to give her input. What kind of categories do we want? Who are the people in those categories that we know don't belong in prison? We got to put those names in front of her, and we got to tell her we got community support. We're ready to catch them. We need her to sign the commutations. We need to get them out.
Right. Okay. So we want to make sure we put all this information out there. So Mike is here, part of the MT Clemency team. You can get a note of all that information and get it to me, and I can get that out here.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we don't have to have no potluck meeting, because I ain't with that neither, man. We're just too tied up in time. It's not enough hours in a day. But what's the next project, or what's the next initiative? What's next?
Well, the next project is getting horse out in
Free horse piercing.
Get horse out in the next month, a month and a half. He should be free.
Okay.
And that's my pet peeve right now,
Right.
And then we got to move on to Mark Perrin, Leroy Washington,
Andre Green, Donna Williams,
and all.
The list keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going on, man. We got the lawyers working on it, and all the governor got to do is just sign it.
Okay.
They up on her desk, just sign it, and they can walk free.
So we can get a list of those guys.
Yeah, everyone's on our website. Yeah, about all their names, all their stories, and so you can send the letters to us and we can send them off. So that's how we do it.
Okay. So we're gonna get all this information out there, because people are asking, for the information and the details. So we're gonna rely on the team to be able to provide the information. So then we get that out there to the public, whether they be writing letters, showing up at the governor's house,
calls,
down there,
all of it, pulling all the levers.
Right. Yeah. Okay. No doubt, man. So, man, I appreciate even the conversation. I appreciate you, good brother, for standing strong in the fight. Doing all that time and still staying mentally strong, man. There's a lot of folks would have been folded a long time ago. But that is very much, man, commendable. And shout out to the team, right? You two brothers, man, riding with the brother, man, and showing them that you some real ones, right? That's what the world needs today. We're gonna really do something. We got to get it done. Definitely big shout out to Fli-City Blackout. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to share. They also want parole board names and information. Folks want to start writing letters and getting that folks. We don't even know who on that 10-person board or whatever the case may be.
They're real silent. They're silent. We just got it's to the pro board, right? And then it's not transparent. That's the issue.
Freedom Act. What's nothing? You can't get that information.
We try, man. We try. Reach out. We'll get in touch. For sure. Power to the people.
Okay. And then, man, big shout out too on the documentary, man. That Oscar team feels a lot like the parole board, right? You know what I'm saying? They operate in the same form, right? They probably don't know necessarily nothing, right? Just going for the same stuff. But nevertheless, man, we'll get all that information out. They appreciate great show. You had a lot of people. There were a lot of people that's commented. I really suggest you all go back on there and check the show out. Respond to some of those folks that's been talking and communicating.
When's it gonna be up?
It's already up right now.
Oh,
It's online now, right?
And
Just when you get comfortable at the house, you can sit back and review.
there's a whole lot of people
Right.
tap in after the fact.
Yeah,
There was over 200 shares.
yeah. So
Oh,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, you just definitely tap in. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Nevertheless, man, we're gonna get up out of here, man. We appreciate the team. You definitely heard from Mr. Michael, Meeko. You still go by Meeko? I know that was the old school name, right? I don't want to be bringing up the old school.
That name earns some stripes.
Is
man.
that what it is, right? Okay, all right, for sure. But no, Mr. Michael Thompson, man, that's out here, the freedom fighter, getting to it. And then the team, the Michael Clemency Project. I'm saying it right.
Michael Thompson Clemency Project.
Michael, yeah. So you know we
I want to say something about everybody keep asking me how I get involved in breaking all the gangs up in Flint at one time.
real talk, yeah.
And so I can clear this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got involved in breaking the gangs up in Flint, Flint had a bad gang problem at one time. And the reason I got involved it was because I was reading the newspaper one day, and Prosecutor Weiss, he was trying to get $400,000 for conviction of young people, prosecution and conviction of young people. I knew that them young people was going to be people of color. And that's how I got involved. I didn't have to even get involved. I could have just went on my way, man. But when I seen that, I knew what was going to happen to them young people.
Exactly.
And so what I did, it was it took me about 10 months, and I broke all the gangs up, man.
Did a peace march across the city.
Yeah, man, a march all the way down to the riverfront, and the mayor was down there. Mayor Sharp was down there waiting on us, and I shook his hand, and I told him, I said, "Look, man, I bring you my kids, my kids, you know, do something for them," and he got them all jobs.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so, and I took my own money. He was trying to get $400,000 to break all the gangs up. I did it with my own money. And I broke the gangs up, man.
And I kind of think that what you've done has lasted throughout throughout the years, because the gang affiliation thing up in Michigan and Flint, particularly, is not like it used to be at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it used to be at all. Just for lack of better words.
But anyway, they was like a family to me. They was like my kids, and I love them today. And they love me. You know. I just want to clear that up. So.
Oh, there you have it, man.
Absolutely.
The work is still impactful long after these times, and then too, the work will continue on, right? Even after everybody here in this room will be gone. I think that's impact. You know, that's what we want to do. We want to continue to commit to. So, man, this was very enlightening, man. I appreciate the conversation. It motivated me to get back on the grill and do what's necessary. So, we definitely riding. You know, we're gonna keep getting to it. We'll send that information out to everybody. We tapped in. Appreciate everybody who tapped in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Fli-City Blackout. Make sure you tap in with the Michael Thompson Clemency Project, mtclemency.com. And then also, man, Free Horse. That's the next move.
Yeah, free horse,
Free
please.
horse.
Yeah, free horse.
Come on.
Let's welcome home. We need every single
Come on,
person
boys.
that when he gets
Come on,
home.
baby. Come on.
Let's get them home. Yep.
Everybody come home. That's a success story. So, man, how we close the show out, man, we do a blackout. You know, we kind of just go out like this. You too, Mike, right? Brothers in the studio. Big shout out to Brother D in the studio, Brother Grundy in the studio. And we going to go ahead and black this thing going out. So blackout.
Peace.
Peace.
Love.